Hello and welcome. I'm Rachel Price and welcome to my podcast, I'm Not Just Making the Tea, a show where we'll talk about the realities of our career and life choices whilst made at school and college. It's all about celebrating the parts that don't go to plan as much as those which do. With every chat we explore what life skills there are to be learnt and how they can influence and help us to succeed. This season, the focus is on key skills and the attributes which we all need to be more successful in our everyday lives. I hope that you enjoy listening, find the topics thought-provoking, entertaining, and that they add some positive vibes to your day. So on that note, let's get started with today's topic. The 5-step hack to turning around an unproductive day. There is plenty of advice about how to be productive. But what about when your day starts okay but veers off track, and no matter what you do, you just can't seem to tackle your never-ending to-do list? Well, most of us will always be trying to juggle too many things over the course of a day. And despite our best intentions, we are bound to have days where we feel burnout or those days which are just plain unproductive. This can lead to a self-destructive cycle. You beat yourself up for not being focused, which further distracts you from what you set out to do. As a freelancer and founder, I've dealt with more than my fair share of days that just aren't as productive as I'd liked. Over time, I've learnt the importance of having a reset button, or, in other words, strategies in turning around my unproductive day and not letting it go to waste. Often you know in your gut when you're not as focused as you would like to be. There are, however, also a few signs that you can use to identify when you're primed for unproductivity. You could be procrastinating, whether that means scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or doing something that you don't normally enjoy, such as working out or cleaning your space. You're staring at a blank document and just can't get yourself to write anything. You've had a bad night's sleep and you're feeling off or tired, or you're prioritising other people's goals and needs rather than your own. Well, you don't have to write the day off as a total lost cause. There are lots of ways to recover your time that don't involve beating yourself up for being less than focused. Instead, how about trying a strategy that takes into the reality of your situation? You're tired, distracted, overwhelmed, bored, or even a combination of all of the above. And a change to your mindset and tone will be for the better. With that in mind, here are my 5 tips for turning around an unproductive day. Number 1, prioritise what needs to be accomplished. Weirdly, it's really easy to be unproductive when you have too much to do. Feeling overwhelmed leads to prioritising inefficiently or not prioritising at all, and trying to accomplish too much. When you feel stressed out by your to-do list, you're more likely to mismanage your time or even just give up. If everything is urgent and needs to get done today, you often feel paralysed. So if or when this happens, just stop. Take a step back and take another look at your to-do list. Identify what items absolutely have to be accomplished that day. Chances are this will whittle down your list significantly, making it feel a lot more manageable. By simply taking some of the pressure off of yourself, you're more able to focus and be productive. And once you've made it through the day, sit down with your list again and determine what tasks should be your priority for the week. By thinking realistically about your list for the coming days, you set yourself up for days that are more focused and less overwhelming. How about only setting yourself just 6 tasks for the day? This is an achievable number, and once these are finished, if you have time, you could add 1 more task. But if it's just the 6 tasks, guess what? It's 6 tasks that you hadn't completed at the beginning of the day. Number 2, create a productive ambience. This may be a hard one to resolve, especially with the work from home lifestyles that we're now adapting to. If you can't seem to focus, take a look around you. Are you being distracted by your environment? And if you're not distracted, are there ways that you could make your environment conducive to you being more productive? My ideal environment includes the radio, but nothing too talky. Natural light, a light snack, a drink like water or tea, and a comfortable seat. If I have all of these elements, I'm much more likely to spend my time productively. I can really zone in on my tasks and focus on what I'm having to do. Of course, we don't always have total control of your environment. At the same time, you're never totally out of control either. If you get unfocused when you're hungry, make sure you have a supply of healthy snacks on hand. Or if you crave quiet but work in a busy, loud office with open floor planning, make sure you're armed with headphones before you leave the house every day. Number 3, change up your scenery. Sometimes you need to refresh your body and mind before you can be more productive. When I feel unfocused, I like to change up my surroundings. I'll go for a cycle, do some stretches, or listen to a podcast. Anything that gets me up out of my chair and stops me from staring at my computer for an hour or so. You can also change up the scenery by heading to a different place to work, as long as it won't be distracting. If you usually work well in coffee shops, head to a new one nearby, or snag an empty conference room at the office for a few hours. Even if you don't have lots of flexibility in your schedule, there are always ways of changing up your scenery, just enough to give you a fresh perspective. Number 4. Limit distractions, specifically social media. Distractions such as social media can easily train wreck your productivity, and unfortunately, it's extremely hard to pull the plug on them entirely. Luckily, there are lots of ways to limit these distractions. You probably won't want to delete your social media accounts, and nor would I tell you to do so, but you can remove them from your phone, or you can put all your social media apps in a folder that's out of sight. Try hiding your social media apps in a folder with a more serious or daunting icon, such as your banking apps. That way you'll have to think before you start scrolling, and it becomes less automatic. Or how about setting access timings or links to screen time reminders so that you get the push when you have spent too much time on them? Many of us rely on social media for our work, so we just can't log out and ignore it entirely. But there are plenty of apps to help you work around the bombardment of social media, such as the plugin Kill Newsfeed. It allows you to access your Facebook account but blocks your newsfeed. You'll still be able to do your Facebook-centered work, but you won't be distracted by every photo, update or ad available. So maybe it's time to research other apps that help you to be less distracted. Number 5. Check in with an accountability buddy. When we're unproductive, we often feel shame, despair and frustration. Even though we know these days happen, we end up dwelling in our negative feeling rather than moving forward. An accountability buddy is someone who holds no judgment and provides you a listening ear. It's someone you can check in with and give an update of your progress, good or bad. The best part is, when you say your goals or your tasks out loud, they become a lot more real. There's someone else to hold you to them. They're there to cheer you on and even encourage you when you're having an off day. If you don't already have an accountability buddy, official or unofficial, in your life, it's time to find that person. It could be a co-worker, an industry colleague, a classmate or a friend. Whoever it is, remember that the dynamics go both ways. They support you and you support them back. And finally, and probably the most important point, it is to acknowledge that none of us are productive 100% of the time. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's about how you handle an unproductive day when it comes your way. So why not try out the strategies and see what works for you, or think up some new ones just for yourself? So that's our topic for today. I hope you found it interesting and helpful. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you've enjoyed this episode, then subscribe and get new episodes sent to you weekly. You can do that for free via Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast and more. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to listen, so please subscribe, like, tell your friends and send me any comments and feedback. Also, check out the Instagram page, Not Just Making the Tea, for more information and updates. For activities and resources, check out the Learning Hub on educationyalla.com and subscribe. Thank you once again, keep safe and chat soon. Have a great day.